we were talking about Xbox because the president of Team Green, Sarah Bond, published a very strange video last night.
Oh, it's strange because it go against my PlayStation 5 narrative about exclusivity. Boo-hoo. I mean, where's Sarah Bond wrong in all this?
Talking about the uselessness of exclusive games.
They're useless?
Sarah said the idea of it is just outdated, that it's antiquated.
Oh, there you go, dinosaur. And the funny thing is, you people already know this already. But yet, for some reason, you still believe in the concept of exclusivity. I'm telling you now, man, if it wasn't for third party, there would be no such thing as a PlayStation. Because that's exactly where Sony's getting the vast majority of its money, which is through service and subscriptions through PlayStation Plus. And you people know this.
All these other companies that are making tens of billions, hundreds of billions of dollars, like Nintendo, like freaking Sony.
Oh, that's funny because the last time I checked, Pokemon Legends has sold 40% worse than its predecessor. Oh, that's funny because you know why? And the crazy thing is, think about it. When Pokemon Sword and Shield came out, that was a year after the Switch 1 came out. You got an install base of over 150 million Switches, about 9 million Switch 2s, and the game sold 40% worse than a game before it? Y'all gonna be like, oh, Snap Games, you right, man. I told you, this whole exclusivity thing that you guys keep talking about. Now, mind you, it did sell well, because all Nintendo had to do to break even was sell 200,000, because they make, like I said, low-end games and they walk out with AAA money. That's just a strategy that Nintendo has been doing for quite some time. But you can't use that argument for Sony. Because if I look at the most played games on PlayStation and Xbox, I'm telling you, it's all third-party. If it wasn't for these third-party companies popping out these Grand Theft Auto 6 and Apex Legends and Fortnite, there would be no such thing as a gaming console. There would be no such thing as a, should I say it, a PlayStation.
Apparently, they're doing gaming the wrong way. Now, instantly, there is this unique debate about her statement. Basically, instead of just saying...
There's nothing unique about it because I've said this for years. And I've told people there ain't nobody picking up these platforms for exclusivity. So therefore, games still won another W.
You're dumb because obviously her statement is provably incorrect.
How is it provable? You said it's provably correct? Okay, let's see if we can prove her right. What's this? This is all third party. Look at it. You even got Xbox. You guys are paying $100 for an Xbox game. Look at this. What's this? Third party. Look at it. What's this? What's this? Look at that. Even the games I was selling. Look at this. Look at this. Where's the exclusives? Where is it? These are the top pre-ordered games, and I don't see not one exclusive game. I mean, you even got Microsoft Flight Simulator over freaking Wolverine. Look at that. They buying Microsoft Flight Simulator over Soros because it's sorry. These are all third-party games, bro. Look at it. Oh, my goodness. You guys have the audacity to pay $200. Damn, Microsoft is making money off you fools. Look at that. They paid $200 for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, mind you. Whoa. Also, you could use that VR2 headset, huh? The Stalker 2. Look at this. And y'all want to sit there talking about, we don't pay. Where's the exclusives? There's not one exclusive game here, bro. This is what I try to tell you, man. Oh, Sarah Bond is wrong. She's so wrong. Oh, really? Then explain this. Ain't none of your games trending, man. This is what people are picking up on your precious PlayStation 5. Ain't nobody buying your games. Come on, man. Let's get back to the video.
Here we go. Exclusive games are an antiquated concept, says Xbox President Sarah Bond. According to their research, they're seeing more people evolve past locking themselves down to one device or one store. The biggest games in the world are all everywhere, whether it's Fortnite, COD, Roblox, games that are literally playable on your phone, on your PC, or anywhere, right? But I feel like this argument immediately on the face, it seems so circular in nature.
So where is she wrong, though? I mean, isn't Fortnite popular? Check. Isn't Call of Duty popular? Check. I mean, it is one of the most highly pre-ordered games on your PlayStation, including PS4. Roblox? What, bro? I've been telling y'all this for years, bro. Now you got the CEO of Microsoft, which is Sarah Bond, telling you that exclusive games is outdated. And you people still trying to fight the console. Oh, but PlayStation ain't Nintendo, first off. And the only reason why Nintendo gets away with it, because like I said, Pokemon Legends, all of the game had to do was sell 200,000 just to break even. That's how low the budget of your games are from Nintendo. That's another reason why your games are successful. Because Nintendo don't be putting 50, 60, 80 to 100 million into the games that they bring to the audience. Like I've said before, they either make low-end or AA games and walk out with AAA money. That's how Nintendo stays within business. But like I said, when you guys talk about, oh, exclusivity, well, I guess Pokemon Legends sold 40% worse than its predecessor with a higher install base, with a higher reach than any of their other Pokemon games, and it still sold worse. Now, mind you, it still did good. It only needed 200,000 to break even, but the point still stands that people are buying less and less games overall.
A company that is at the back, that cannot sell exclusives, that can't sell consoles, is claiming, oh, yeah, that's just the thing. Nobody's buying consoles. Nobody's buying games. It's just such a silly argument. I mean, you can literally look at their numbers. The Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation is experimenting with putting more and more of their games on PC. And I feel like they're doing two things.
Oh, but that's funny because when Xbox did it, you said Xbox was dead. But yet, for some reason, when PlayStation do it, they're all fine. But you said when a company puts their games on another platform, that means that the company is dying. That's what you said. To just find, remember what I said. Xbox fanboys are becoming the PC fanboy. PlayStation fans are becoming the new Xbox fanboy. And Nintendo fanboys are becoming the new PlayStation ones. Because look at their talking points now. Just look at it. You're like, yeah, that's true, Gabe. So that is literally an Xbox One talking point that you're bringing up. Which is absolutely pathetic now to hear from you ponies, especially during the whole PS4 generation, talk about how we got exclusivity. We don't need PC. You guys was bashing PC gamers for the longest. And now they're the ones getting the last laugh. And Xbox can also be going to get that last laugh too, as well as the Nintendo Switch too, because that's what Sony's going to start putting games on. You people, you're ridiculous, bro. Stop fighting this console war.
Exclusives. I think that Sony's being very smart where they go, okay, here's the game. Buy it, we advertise the hell of it on PlayStation 5, we sell you a ton of PlayStation 5 consoles, we do limited edition controllers and stuff, and then once that's bought, once that's sold a bunch, okay, now 6 months or a year later, we get a second hype cycle.
Oh, hold on, but that's what Microsoft did with Indiana Jones? And y'all said that you said Xbox was dead because they did that. Because they played the game, they sold the game, they played it on the audience, and then they decided to recuperate some more money off the PlayStation fan. Now you're out here advocating for Sony doing the same thing that Microsoft did. Okay, you know what? Go ahead.
You saw the trailers, you saw the discussions, you saw the Game of the Year awards. Now you can buy it on PC, and we've got our own team of developers that make these hyper-optimized PC ports that support widescreen and 200 frames a second and stuff. I think that Sony does a good way of basically saying, okay, the PlayStation is over here, and it's still very vital. It's still a core part.
It's so vital that they're putting the games elsewhere where the games play far better. What are you talking about? That don't sound like they're incentivizing, because that's what you guys would say that the Xbox wasn't doing. You said that Xbox wasn't incentivizing the platform due to the fact that you could play all their games better on PC and then some. That's what you guys said. These are pony takes.
Our business, but simultaneously, yes, you can play our great stories anywhere eventually. And I do think it's funny to see specifically Xbox, the people that are just so way out in the last, claiming that everybody else is somehow missing out on some magic that only they've discovered. This kind of feels like whenever you see those people that are like standing outside a nightclub and they can't get in, and they're like, you know what, I bet it sucks in there. Brother, you can't get in the club. Like, you're the guy outside the club.
And nobody's going to the exclusivity club because you know why? It is exclusive. That's why nobody's going to. So everybody just goes to the club that is welcomed by everybody, because nobody goes to the exclusive club, because with the exclusive club, there's less people. Oh, that's funny, because that sounds like a PlayStation game selling in the 1 millions.
Just saying that everybody else is having a bad time. Look at these comments. It's very important that was in dead last. Checks out. This is funny, is that Sarah Bond is the person, genuinely, one of the times she the very happiest on stage was when she officially said, yes, Starfield is an Xbox exclusive. And it's funny that, honestly, it became kind of a catastrophe. I still think about the fact that there is 50 times more people playing Skyrim than will ever play Starfield.
And
Ever.
the same thing can apply to Killzone, Jack and Daxter, Sly Cooper, Motorstorm, Tomba, Extermination, Heavenly Sword, Folklore, Warhawk, Starhawk, Infamous, Little Big Planet. That same logic can also apply to PlayStation games. Uncharted. Okay.
Right? It is still weird to just think about the fact that, I mean, there are some rumors they're trying to essentially rebuild Starfield. They're trying to, like, cyberpunk it and just 1.0 make a completely new version of the game, but it's such a dead brand at this point, just like Xbox in general.
It's so dead that you continue to talk about it after you said you was done. Like, I mean, I can see why people just stop caring about your channel, bro, because this is all you've ever become. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, we don't come to your channel to hear any of your gaming points. We just come here to laugh at you, bro. That's all we do, man. That's all it is. You're a parody channel. You have no integrity. You have no authenticity with your channel. Your channel is literally for parodies. That's what your channel is, bro. We all laugh at you. There's nothing that you say we take seriously, bro. But it's funny when these people out here clowning on you because you have some of the dumbest takes that I've ever seen, man. You got people like your boy RGT85 out here pushing different types of content, and the only thing you're grasping and holding on to is to keep your AC on low with these Xboxes dead videos. Because that's all you really got, to be honest with you.
I think it's interesting that as Xbox goes more and more third party, I'm curious to see what happens to these studios in the long run, right? Like, there's talks that on Friday, apparently, they're going to reveal not just Halo coming to PS5, but specifically, they're going to show a trailer for the original Halo, which is still my favorite. Halo 1 is getting a full remake, which a lot of the rumors said that it's going to have sprinting. It's going to be like a mix of like...
And you podies are going to pay full price for it. You know, you're going to pay full price for a game that came out in 2001.
We're just going to go to where the money's at, whether it is PC or Nintendo or PlayStation. We're going to go where we actually get paid. Now, I've seen some people talking about the fact that do exclusives really matter? I do think they do. Like Ghost of Yote obviously just came out a couple weeks ago. Even with just 2 days of sales tracking, is now the 18th highest selling game of the year. Number
18? Of course it's going to be the highest sold in October. That is pretty embarrassing. 18? For the entire year?
For October game. This is pretty good. That means that it sold the same amount of numbers as Ghost of Tsushima with a much lower install base. So I think it's interesting that provably, I think that Nintendo is doing, of course, the smartest path, which is having all their own studios, making stuff as low budget as possible, making it exclusive forever.
Yeah, but if all those games was AAA, Nintendo would not be being as successful though. That's not even a W. That's kind of pathetic though. Think about that. You got Nintendo spending $200. They're spending less money on games now than they've done on the N64, and y'all out here counting it as a W because they sell well. Like I said, I mean, I think if that's the way you got to stay in business. Right? No wonder Pokemon still looks the same. No wonder you guys don't get any more because why would you if you accept mediocrity? Why put any more money in the budget? Why make a game way more ambitious? Like I've said, I guarantee Nintendo spent more money making N64 games back in the days than what they're doing for whatever they're doing for Nintendo Switch. The budgets for those games are significantly low. It's so embarrassing.
But I still feel like I like Sony's strategy. I just wish they would do it better. I feel like my main frustration is that PlayStation puts out so little games. It's wild to me that when they cranked out the most exclusives ever, the PlayStation 4, it was exclusive. First party and third party. They were actually going to people whose games were like 70% done and saying, hey, we'll help you finish it. We'll optimize it for the PlayStation 4, but you got to make it exclusive for 5 years. A bunch of people took those deals because the PS4 was so big. I do feel like this generation, PlayStation just expects everything to come to PS5, and thus far they've been right. And it's making it where these really 10 out of 10 games, I love Ghost of Yote a lot. I wish we got these more than like once a year at best, right?
Embarrassing. But there's a reason for that. There's a reason, and I've already explained to people why you guys get less games overall. And it's because most of the games just don't sell. So that goes back to Sarah Bond's point, which you said she was wrong. The reason why Sony's even putting these games on PC in the first place, because there's not enough ponies buying these games on the PlayStation 5. Then you got people saying, oh, the games did well. I understand that. I understand they did well within the budget. But understand that games back in PS1 was outselling 2 million. I can't believe with how big and how important gaming has gotten, and we're still talking about 2 million sales for games on a console with an 80 million install base, bro. Final Fantasy VII sold like what, like 9, 10? And the install base was barely even there. What happened to those days? What happened to the days when, I'm confused. I'm like, what the? Like, you go back and you're like, damn, Gates, you kind of right, though. What happened to the days when Donkey Kong Country was selling 4 or 5 mils? You know what I mean? Castlevania 3 or 4 or 5 mils off the bat, off the gate. Now they gotta wait. Oh, we gotta wait 5 years. We gotta wait for some discounts here and there. We gotta wait until we bundle the game again. Like, what? Gaming is supposed to be bigger than ever. But yet, for some reason, people have bought less and less games. And you people know it. And the only thing that's going up is the budget. And that's why companies saying we're raising the prices of these games. Because you know why? There's just not enough for y'all to support them. Y'all can say, oh, Ghost of Yotei so well. Astro Bot so well at 1.5 million. But understand that back in the days, 1.5 million was nothing. Companies was making more money off a PS1 game. What do y'all don't get? And with the way these budgets are, how are you going to potentially push a PlayStation 6, 7, 8, and 9 if you're going to keep the budgets the same? I mean, at that point, there's no real reason for another PlayStation or another console if you're not trying to push the boundaries of it.
Let's take a look at this tweet by Tim Dog. Now, Tim Dog has done a bunch of I have to admit that part of the funniness is the idea of Xbox, of all people, saying, this strategy of exclusives doesn't work. Brother, you never tried it. I mean, you're the guy who's never worked out.
They never tried it. What do you mean? They tried it with the Xbox One, and it didn't work out. What are you talking about? PlayStation tried it with the PS5. It didn't work out. That's why they're putting games on PC. What you dummies don't understand is that the budgets of these games are going higher, and there's just not enough for the core fan base to buy them. That's why these games are not existing. That's why Concord failed. Because there just wasn't enough. In that game, honestly, you could have put that game on anything, and that game would have failed anyway. Sorry. Nobody just wanted to play it. Because with your games, nobody wants to play them at all. Okay? You got a few good handful titles, and that's it. That's why most PlayStation franchises are in the graveyard. Most Xbox franchises exist. Most Nintendo franchises exist. But how many PlayStation franchises are in the graveyard? Failed to be ever seen again. Oh, there's a lot. There's very many.
Guys that are actually working out that they're doing it wrong, right? Hit the gym, brother. What the hell? The writing is on the wall for Xbox. They are done. There is literally no point in owning the new Xbox whenever it releases. Satya Nadella is not interested in gaming and is all in on AI. The Game Pass model has collapsed. Failures and layoffs have destroyed the game dev morale. From a marketing standpoint, there is no FOMO. This, I think, is such an interesting point. I do think that the strongest outlier of exclusives, the biggest selling point, is not just...
How is it the big selling point? I just proved to you that the top pre-ordered games, even on your own damn console, is third party. There was not one exclusive game there. Not one.
Hey, we have this great game. Don't you want to play it? It's that really good sense of, hey, don't you want to have this game the other people can't have? I do think that Astrobot sold a decent amount. I love Astrobot a lot, but I do think it also created an interesting sense of FOMO, where you start to see...
No, it didn't, because nobody bought the game. Nobody bought it. Nobody. 1.5 million out of 80 million PS5s, and the game was bundled with the first one, which should have gauged more interest. That means that Astro's Playroom was accessible through 80 million PS5s, and Sony only pulled out 1.5 million of those gamers. You got to remember, Astro's Playroom is a free game. And they didn't even care enough to buy the sequel.
Like Nintendo people, who have obviously some of the best, historically best platformers of all time, seeing Astrobot and going, damn, do I want a PlayStation? Damn, do I want to like wait to come to PC?
Yeah, if they wanted a PlayStation 5, the hardware sales would have went up and the software would. They didn't even buy it. Nintendo gamers laughed. The game is not even as good. The game is not even better than Mario Odyssey. What are you talking about?
Get a Steam Deck? Like, whoa, what do I have to do to actually experience that?
Ain't no Nintendo fan saying that.
FOMO is such a system seller, and it's also just free marketing. It creates that word of mouth.
Nobody cares. I'm sorry, bro. Nobody cares, bro. Back in the days, I used to talk about video games at school all the time. I tell you right now, if I was born right now as one of these Generation Alpha kids, I would not even be into gaming. I wouldn't. I'm sorry, man. I know that might hurt some people. I wouldn't even be a gamer, bro. I'd probably be doing something else with my life. Imagine that. That because I was born on the right days of when gaming was at its peak during the golden age of gaming, that's what made me a gamer. But I'm telling you right now, if I was a kid growing up in this era, I would not be a video gamer. And I don't know how true that would be for some of y'all, but you guys can tell me in the comment section, but that is definitely true for me. I would not be a gamer because I just don't like these games. So
now, the thing I wanted to end with is two things. One, I do think other companies are making so much profit they can afford price cuts. They are basically getting ready to do Black Friday sales and stuff. I don't think you're going to see any Black Friday sale whatsoever from Xbox this year, but I saw this. He has insider info. He's done a lot of Xbox leaks, but a lot of people think that he's like trying to go down with the Titanic. He just wants to defend Xbox until every game is bad, until every studio is shut down. He's just going to be there trying to spin and spin and spin. And I gotta say that I'm not even hating on the guy. I almost just find it baffling. A lot of this Xbox loyalty has withered up and blown away. It's dust in the wind. But it is still just this final remnants that makes me think, okay, what comes next? Is there going to be a massive acquisition? Are we actually going to see things like Call of Duty being sold off as a separate company? Are we going to see all this?
Why would Microsoft sell off the game that's making millions of dollars for them on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and everything? Why would they sell that? What would be the point of Microsoft selling that game? They've already making a name. They have no problem feeding you ponies because look at what you guys are buying.
And just turned into more AI branding? Are we going to actually see them try and sell, like, I don't know, 343 Industries merges with Bungie's Shell? It becomes a PlayStation studio. I guess I'm curious about how bad and how bloody the end of the end will be. I don't know. These are some sick, feverish, half-thought-out thoughts. Tell me your thoughts in the...
From a PlayStation fanboy that doesn't know anything. Like I said, people would agree with you, but Sarah Ball was absolutely right. Exclusivity is nothing. Like I said, the Switch 2 is doing well in sales, but we'll see how GTA 6 come out. I still have that opinion, guys. I guarantee by the time GTA 6, that Switch 2 hardware is going to decline. It's already declining in the games. Y'all like, oh, 40% less? You have the success of the Switch 1 that has a freaking install base of 150 million Switches. Then you have Switch 2 with 9 million. And Pokemon Legends sold 40. Yo, that's almost half. 40% less. No wonder they don't want Power Word on that system. No wonder. Maybe no wonder Nintendo. Because I always said, why is Roblox on Nintendo? That would be a perfect game for Switch 2. No wonder they don't want those games there. Because you know why? They don't want you to play those games. Nintendo is afraid that if they allow those games in their marketplace, that they'll be no different than PlayStation and Xbox. And Nintendo knows they can't afford to put AAA money on these AA games. They know they can't do it. They like this little hustle they got going. They like making these little low-end mobile games and selling them for $60, $70 profit every time because of the FOMO, because the nostalgia. Nintendo still got that. And on top of that, since they have that whole 3DS successor with the low-end graphics, their Nintendo community is used to it because they already lost it with the home console market. Nintendo's home console market don't even exist. But they're afraid that if they go that direction of PlayStation and Microsoft, that even Nintendo can't even find a way out of it. They did with the Wii U, and look what happened with that. And PlayStation, you're losing the luster of your own games. Your console ain't nothing but a dummy terminal where people play third-party games. And Microsoft knows it. Sony knows it. That's why they were on their knees begging FTCs for that Call of Duty. Because they were afraid. The first thing they said to themselves, that PlayStation Plus money is going to go out if we don't have Call of Duty on here. That's what they were thinking. They were thinking about how many subscribers was going to unsubscribe from PlayStation Plus and Premium if Call of Duty wasn't on that list. That's the reason why they were crying. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. At the end of the day, exclusivity doesn't matter. It is not incentivizing people to buy. Maybe Nintendo to a certain degree, but as you guys can see, even for Nintendo, it's dying down, certainly. Take care. Peace out.